Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Boitumelo Phatlane. If you're joining us for the first time, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Anyway, let's get right into it. So guys, today is actually like a start of a new series that we're going to be doing. We're going to have like a 4-part series where we're looking at what does it mean to have a balanced life? What does it mean to live a life where literally everything in your life is sort of like balanced. Financially, you are okay. And when I mean okay financially, I don't mean that you are like super rich, but I just mean that you have a handle of your finances. What does it mean to have a handle of your mental wellness? What does it mean to have a handle of your physical wellness? And so forth. So we're going to be looking at that, getting tips on how to ensure that we are living balanced lives. We don't have too much of something and too little of something else. We just to make sure that nje konke kuhamba kahle. So today we're going to be joined by a guest, and also I just want to put like a disclaimer. I'm going to be using a Zoom or for this interview because of lockdown. I can't be with people. So I'm going to have a guest. We're going to be doing it via Zoom. So the quality might not be as great, but please focus on the content because that's the most important thing. And we'll see everything else afterwards. Anyway, let's get right into the interview.
Every single day, I'm gonna make.
Yes. Cool. Hi Nomsa, welcome to my YouTube channel. So glad to have you here. Please just tell us more about yourself. I only know your name, so perhaps your name and surname.
Yes. Well, thank you very much, Boitumelo, for having me. Well, my name is Nomsa Palesakhatebe. I'm a psychologist practicing both in Alberton in the East Rand as well as Benoni. And yeah, I've been in private practice for about 3 years now, and I've been owning my own practice for about 2 years. So I'm still fresh in the game. But yeah, I'm a mental wellness professional, I guess. And yeah, I'm here to just help people, and I'm excited to be here more than anything else.
I am super excited to have you. And I guess Nomsa just gave it away. Today we're talking about mental wellness. We're really just talking about how to ensure that on a day-to-day basis, you are coping well with everything that's happening and you've got, the right things ticked for your mental wellness. So anyway, let's get right into it. Nomsa, what does it mean to be mentally well? What does mental wellness even mean? Because I think for a lot of people, we might think that mental wellness is for people with mental illnesses. What is mental wellness? Does everyone need to be mentally well, so to say?
Yes, no, absolutely. People, I think, more than anything, tend to be confused between mental illness, as you were saying, and mental wellness. So mental illness is when you have a definite diagnosis of some sort. So we have anxiety disorders, we have full-on psychosis disorders such as schizophrenia and those types of things. And what we talk about when we talk about mental wellness is to ensure that you do not go from a place of being, I guess, typical, normal engagement to that diagnosis space. So mental wellness is important to ensure that you're putting in the correct safeguards, basically, to ensure that you don't necessarily move to that place and you're keeping mentally fit and mentally healthy, and also just recognizing what your boundaries are in order to ensure that you stay in a line or in a space that keeps you okay, confident, aware more than anything of what works for you and what doesn't. And at any point in time, you remove what doesn't work for you and you implement a lot more of what does work for you. I think in a nutshell, that's what mental wellness is. Keeping those boundaries in place, number one, to ensure that you don't get to a place of complete breakdown in essence.
I guess you've sort of like touched on it, but why is it so important for us to ensure that we are mentally well? Why is it important for us to ensure that in terms of like our life balance, mental wellness is also one of the things that we are focused on?
Why is, so you'd ask the question is, why is it important to do so, right?
Yes.
Why? So that you live a really functional and productive lifestyle. I mean, can you ever imagine waking up every morning and you have to make sure that, or rather you dread waking up in the general sense. You dread having to do your day-to-day tasks because things within you, not only within your body, but also within your mind, are just not functioning in a copacetic or in an easy capacity. So the reason why is to ensure that everything that you do is done simplistically as much as it's possible. At the end of the day, life is life, and simple doesn't always take place that way. Just to ensure that you can come into contact and strive over the things that are a part of life's obstacles. When your mental wellness or your mental health comes into question and is not necessarily on a path where life is easy to do, then you end up feeling really low and incapable, and also your perspective of yourself ends up also shifting quite a little bit. So the potential that you might have had starting off kind of goes from a 10 to a complete 0 at times, and that's when you know that you're in complete breakdown. So we keep you in a straight path and in a manageable state of mind more than anything, so that when the next battle comes, you are strong enough to not only fight it, but to take the lessons from the past and use those to assist you maybe going into the future more than anything. So we're building stamina in essence.
And I mean, I can sort of like liken this to physical wellness, and so to say that
Yes.
there are certain things that you need to do to ensure that you are physically okay. Are there certain things that we can actually do in our lives to check, or to sort of like pulse check that am I okay mentally? Maybe do you have like top 3 things for us to sort of like keep checking every now and then, so that we make sure, because sometimes some of the things creep in. You think you're okay, you think you're okay, but you probably just on autopilot, and you're just going and going and going with emotions, and you're actually not okay. Do you have maybe top 3 or 5 things that we can sort of like check every month or every second month to ensure that we are still coping and we're still doing okay?
Okay, cool. This one also tends to be a bit of a difficult one, because as you're saying, the physical, sometimes you can see with your body. So for instance, let's say if you're going through something where you might lose a bit of weight or gain a bit of weight. So there's a physical awareness. So when it comes to mental health, it's a little bit more tricky, where you need to learn how to pay more attention to your intrinsic sense of self, and that's having time for yourself. People are talking a lot about what self-care Sundays, those types of things. So and what more than anything it speaks to is taking time out of your busy schedule to literally so keep quiet. So the first thing I would do is externally is pay attention to your surroundings. Who are the people that you have around you? What are the things that you have around you? And that speaks to work. That speaks to partners. That speaks to friends. And if those individuals no longer feed you in whatever capacity, so the passion is no longer there, the drive is no longer there, that's a first indicator where we know that there's a shift and we need to alter it to ensure that we get back to a state of contentment or a state of ease and comfort. So that's number 1, so your environment. Number 2, it would then be your physical capacity, right? So you yourself, are you in any way losing weight or gaining weight, as I'd spoken earlier? Are you finding that the things that you usually like to do are no longer exciting you? Whatever it might be, where I used to enjoy taking walks or playing PlayStation games or whatever it might be. If the things that used to excite you no longer feed your soul or seem to be of great interest to you, that's a second point that we need to consider. And last, and probably the hardest one, because it requires you to be very honest with yourself, is just sit and listen primarily to the things and the feelings that you are going through. So for instance, sometimes, I don't know about you, Boitumelo, but sometimes, you go through a feeling of, I feel sad. I don't know why I feel sad, but I know that my mood is a little bit lower. What we then want you to do is sit in that moment of sadness and really pay attention to, okay, so what happened in those moments leading up to, and sometimes the night before. And once you've been able to pay attention honestly about the things that were said, the people that you were around, and the engagements that you were taking place in, then
Nomsa, are you still here? I think I lost you for a bit.
greatly affected by that. So in those are nice check-ins from time to time to see, are we still going steady? Are all 3 of them going badly? Or at least is there just one of them that's going badly? That's what we need to pay attention to.
Okay, and then I guess if one is going badly, it's something you can sort of like, I can sort of like say it's a quick fix, because you can easily go back to it and try and work on it.
Absolutely. Because again, the idea is always, at least especially if you're consistent with the checking in, it's easier to change one thing as opposed to all three.
Yeah.
So we always want to pay attention to that. So if you're constantly checking in every 3 weeks and one thing has slipped, which is part of the normal process of life, nothing will always be like this, or always be on an upward trajectory consistently. And the downs, as I was saying, are the lessons that you then take to ensure that I now know where my limitations are. I now know where my strengths lie. I now know where my weaknesses might come from. And then we look at our resources in that point. So if I'm down, who is up or who is more informed to help me kind of get back into that place? So 1 out of 3 or 2 out of 3 is better than 3 out of 3 in my opinion.
Yeah, like I'm just actually thinking about how I usually do things. So I'm one person that usually goes on autopilot and then I become numb. I never take the time to introspect what is happening. Why am I feeling like this? What has caused it? So when I start feeling weird, maybe sad for no reason, whatever, I just go on autopilot and I just go numb, and then I start seeing this having ripple effects on other things. Like maybe I don't feel motivated to work, I don't feel motivated to work out, I just want to do anything. And I just thought maybe it's laziness or whatever, but now I actually realize that it's because I hadn't taken stock of what was happening in my life from a mental 100%. Wellness perspective. So okay, I've learned a lot now, and I think the whole self-care thing. I mean, I'm all for self-care and whatnot, but I think I wish that we can just go beyond facials and whatever, taking salt baths, whatever, because when I say self-care, I literally mean I'm going to be putting on some scrub on my face, with my feet. It's the first thing in my bob. That is literally what I mean when I say self-care. So I think this has opened a new dimension to self-care, that self-care is not only about your glowing skin and, whatever snatched body, but it's actually more inward, more than...
It is. But also when I think about it, remember, and I think that's also the beauty of psychology and just the understanding of the self, is that because we are so individualistic in the way we do things, sometimes, and there's nothing wrong with it, maybe that scrub on your face is exactly what you need, and that is okay for you. As long as, remember, I think when you think more about self-care, it's about what are the things that make me aware that I am, number 1, important, number 2, valuable, and number 3, worthy of some degree of awareness of the self. If for you a scrub or going to the gym or just taking a walk is what self-care and means for you, then yes, absolutely run into it, do it. But for me, it might be, for instance, doing my nails. Like I'm going to go do them today. So that's what it is for me. It's important, and it's about us always just taking the time, irrespective of what's going on in our lives, to really take an hour, that's 2 hours, and just do what says, yeah, my heart is happy. And that's where self-care really is rooted.
Sure. So should maybe someone find themselves in a place where they're literally not doing okay, they have self-examined, introspected, and they can see that they're literally on a downward path, and they don't know how to pick themselves up. Do you have any, resources that you can share that maybe a person can look into? I know that there's some, help lines, lifeline, or whatever, these lines where you can call when you're feeling some type of way. Do you have maybe any other resources that you can share with us?
Yeah, I think, for me, it's always thinking about what is the easiest way, because sometimes, unfortunately, having access to people such as psychologists, money is valid, it's not necessarily there. So one of the easiest one is definitely SADAG, which is the South African Drug and Anxiety Group, SADAG, so SADAG. Go onto the website there and they give you all sorts of contacts. And I always suggest that one primarily because they give resources about, let's say for instance, depending on where it is you live, you tell them the area that you're in, and then they can kind of locate you to whoever's the closest to you, whether it be health clinics in terms of GPs who can give you some degree of assistance, or even if it's pro bono type sites or pro bono areas that can kind of give you assistance. So SADAG is always my number one, primarily because they can give a wide variety of assistance across the country. But in addition to that, there's a lot to be said about speaking to individuals who have gone through much the same experience as you. Granted, I never say that you must take what they say and run with it, but life experience often gives us the correct tools and the understandings of how it plays out in theory. I always say, You know, when you go to school, you get the book, and the book says it explains it quite nicely. Step one, step two, step three, and it's like, great. You get into the world, and you find that step three is now step one, and step four.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, now how do I do this? So that's always the tricky thing. So life experience and people who have, number one, your best interest at heart, but number two, an understanding of what it is, the different situations or scenarios might be, is always probably the biggest resource that anyone can kind of go through. Go to these people and express to them that you're struggling with whatever it might be, and you're hoping for some sort of aid, assistance, and just a direct path. You know, even on Twitter, I mean, or just speaking to someone such as myself, whether it be on Twitter, on some social platform, we are here to nevertheless help. You know, just having that word and that simple guidance is all we can do sometimes. And I am here to offer those types of things as well. So just try your luck, and you never know what could happen. People are more willing to assist and provide leading guidance more than we ever think. So it's just a matter of trying.
Okay. And if someone wants to get a hold of you, maybe wants to use make use of your facilities as a psychologist, how do they get in contact with you? And please share your details.
Okay, so I think the easiest thing where you get all the information would be on www.neopsych.com. That's NEO-PSYCH.com. So that's my website, and all my contacts will be pretty much there. But then in addition to that, you can catch me on what is it called? Instagram. Which is Neopsych, which is Neopsych Services. Or alternatively, I'm also on Twitter, which is Miss Neopsych Services. So just search on that, and then you'll find me. And whatever help I can give, I think we can have a bit of a chat.
Okay, I'll also leave your details on the detail section in the video so that people can easily access that. Thank you so much, Nosa, for sharing this with us. I mean, I've learned, and I believe that anyone who's going to be watching this is going to learn a lot, and we can actually start taking steps into ensuring that we are mentally well and mentally balanced individuals. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for having me, Boitumelo, and bye to all your viewers.
Bye.